Hi everyone, welcome back to the US taxation classes for CPA exam. So in this particular video, we are starting the US taxation, specifically the regulation exam. So before jumping into the US taxation classes, let me walk you through with what all things we have considered in all these classes, curriculum, study material, right? All the tax laws which we have considered. And second part of this video, I'll be walking you through the exam pattern and the skills required or skills are being tested in the US CPA exam. So in this video, we're going to cover all the things which we have considered, all the tax laws, which including Internal Revenue Code, Federal Unemployment Tax Act, Protecting Americans from Tax Hike Act, TCJA Act or Inflation Reduction Act. In addition to that, like I said earlier, we'll be covering in detail about exam pattern as well as the skill set required to be tested in US CPA exam for regulation. First, I'm taking you through the overview of regulation. In the last class, we have already touched base like what all the tax laws and have I shared those tax laws with you in WhatsApp group yet or not?
No, sir. No.
Okay, no worries. So I have downloaded all this text law and I'll show you the resources also from where independently you can also download, and I'll be sharing all these text laws with you. So in the entire US taxation part, which is almost 70% of your examination, will be coming from various tax law. In US, like the first tax law is called Internal Revenue Service Code that has been implemented in 1874. Same way, like most of you are, I know some of you are chartered accountant also, and some of you have already studied like income tax in India, right? So, you know, like in India, the Income Tax Act is 19, which year? Do you remember?
1961.
1961, absolutely right. Same way, in US is called IRC, Internal Revenue Code 1874, right? That has been amended in 1939 and it has been further amended in 1954 and then lately it is being amended in 1986. So it is called IRC 1986 generally now, right? Then after, you know, like the IRC remains same, right? And every year, same way how in India, we have finance bill, which is coming, like this year it is coming in February, right? So I think 1st February now we have started. Earlier, we used to have like finance bill on 28th of February or last day of February. But, you know, like from last couple of years, it has been, advanced to 1st February, right? So same way in US also, generally in the month of November, the finance bill has been passed, right? And that is being effective from 1st January of the following year, right? So those amendments which is being relating to the existing tax laws are being amended in the respective IRC section in the respective clauses, right? However, any major amendment, right? Any major enhancement or any major improvement in overall tax law they wanted to make, they come up with the separate bill for that. And that bill have implication not only to the income tax code, IRC, Internal Revenue Code, but maybe sometime to the others regulations as well. Most of the time, what we have experienced whenever like any new administration came, right? Every administration have certain agendas, right? When they come into the power, they come up with the new acts and new laws. So in this regulation journey, when we are studying the US taxation part, you'll get to know lot about insight about the US administration, US Internal Revenue Services, as well as how it is being impacting the public at large. Plus, you will be understanding more about the culture of the US people as well as the overall economic environment in the United States of America. And you will see those tax laws are being uh, framed in such a manner that it impact and it has been considered like the public at large always in mind. And overall, when we are studying the US taxation part of it, you will see few themes are being very much common in the entire tax law. One is the people of America, right? Second important thing would be like elderly people, like the senior citizen people. Third would be like the people who require medical assistance or medical support. Fourth will be like the students or the people who continue to be in education and keep on studying in it. And fifth one is being disabled people, right? So the government is being very much considerate for these categories of people because they are generally require more attention, more financial support, as well as like more medical support or education support. So in the entire tax law, the overall theme is to like any government who make the law or who make the regulation, they make the law and regulation always keeping their people in mind. So what is being the need and what is being the requirement of their people at that respective time. So same way in the tax law, like the higher level umbrella, because who make the tax law at the same time, it same way in India we have like Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, right? In US also there is like the parliament and there is a Congress. So like Congress is not like similar to what we have Congress here in India. Same way how we have, you can say, this Rajya Sabha. So in US it is being called Congress or Senate, right? So we'll be discussing slowly and gradually about like how the laws are being made in the United States of America and what all things need to be considered when they are making certain laws. That also you'll be understanding, and more importantly you'll be understanding what those parliamentarian or maybe like member of the Senate or you can say member of the Congress keep in mind when they are framing any law, right? Here in this regulation part we'll be discussing more in detail about the income tax or about, you can say, IRC or about the internal revenue services. From that point of view we'll be understanding in detail. So generally, which I was telling you, any new administration come, they have certain agenda, they have certain you can say mandate which they have communicated to the people when they are doing their campaign, and based on that, like, people have voted them, supported them, and they came into the power, right? And now they came into the power, it's being their responsibility to make sure what they have committed to the people would get implemented. So in this journey of the regulation, you will understand what all things like Bill Clinton has done, what all thing Obama has done, what all thing Trump administration has done, and what all thing Biden administration is doing for the people at large, specifically in the domain of federal taxation, right? Another important thing which I wanted to bring into your attention, we will be understanding and we will be learning only and only federal taxation, right? So we'll not be like any other taxation is not part of the CPA curriculum. So we'll not be studying any other part of taxation, right? So normally in United States of America, there are four type of taxes, right? The first one is the federal tax, which we'll be studying through. In addition to that, there would be state tax, there would be city tax, there would be municipality tax, or there would be sales tax, right? So we will not be studying state tax, municipality tax, city tax, or sales tax. So only things which we will be studying is part of the CPA curriculum is the federal taxation. Same way in India, we call it central government, right? In US, we call it federal government. So all the time when you see, when you hear, or when you start pronouncing, keep in mind the federal government, right? Not the central government. So in US, the terminology is totally is federal government, not the central government, but essence is same. So I'll try to connect you how we are pronouncing or how we are communicating things in India so that you can appreciate and correlate the things very comfortably, right? Another, going back to the same story which I was telling in the regulation examination, when we are going through this journey of almost next 6 to 7 weeks, so we'll be understanding what all different administration has been done for tax purposes, right? So some of the good example or some of the leading example are these new Federal Tax Act, right? Which is Federal Unemployment Act 1937, that has came in 1937 to protect the interest of unemployment, right? When economic go down, when economic is at their low, right? At that point of time, there is a huge unemployment. At huge unemployment, how the government can protect the interest of those people who have been, like retrenched from their respective jobs, right? So that they have their livelihoods with them, they have some money to make sure they are not dying, right? So that came as a Federal Unemployment Tax Act 1937, and we'll be discussing in detail about in our journey for next 6 to 7 weeks when we are studying the US taxation part of it. But high level is, like the Federal Unemployment Tax Act as theme and motive to support the people of the America who are unemployed for some or the other reason, right? For that, they have forced certain additional taxation on the businesses to pay as a federal unemployment taxes, as well as there are certain contribution need to be deducted from the employee's salary, so that in future, if for any reason they are unemployed, they will get some unemployment benefit, right? So it will be a joint responsibility of employee and employer. Same way in India, like you have pension fund, right? So we are employee and employer, they both do contribution, and at the time after the retirement, employee get the benefit of pension. Similar to that is the Federal Unemployment Tax Act. That employer has to pay certain contribution, employee has to pay some contribution, and if for any reason employee left the job or employee has been retrenched, then the respective state government and federal government support them. That is the whole theme. And during this Obama administration, right, which came in effect of 2014, right, they came up with a certain, you can say, commitment which they have given to the people at large when they were doing the, you can say, presidency election campaigns, right? So when Obama administration has came, they come up with the new tax law in 2015. Is called Protecting American from Tax Hike Act. In short, it is called PATH Act, right? You'll see like a lot of good things during the Obama administration has happened, which has been implemented in 2015 PATH Act, right? And then after, if you remember, in 2018, like this Trump administration has came, right? Trump administration has came and they come up with the new act called TCJA Act, as well as during the Trump administration in 2022, COVID has came. So accordingly, they come up with the Coronavirus Aid Relief Economic and Security Act 2020. So in these two tax law, also you'll see the great benefit they have provided. Specifically in TCJA Act, you will see to many employees as well as to the employer. And specifically in the COVID Care Act, which is called Care Act 2020, that is one of the best, I would say, tax revolution act has been came in the earth, right? So they have given extremely high support to the employees, to the members of to the citizen of America, to the green card holder of the America, as well as to the employer in the America. Highest in terms of amount, I would say the relief as well as the support across the globe is being provided under the CARES Act. And this is something this is which I'm sure each one of you, when you go in detail about the CARES Act and TCJ Act, will start loving Donald Trump for sure. Right after that, Joe Biden administration has came, right? In Joe Biden administration has came because after the COVID, like US market have started getting huge impact of inflation. So in 2022, they come up with the Inflation Reduction Act, right? So we'll be discussing all these tax laws as and when we get into details of the respective section and respective provision, right? So I have downloaded all this tax law. So I'll be sharing all this tax law to you in your WhatsApp. So if you can just allow me a second, without wasting time, I can put it here right now, and you all can download that. So this is 2015 Path Act, KS Act, Federal Unemployment Act. Then we'll be studying like IRS Treasury Circular 2030, Inflation Reduction Act, TCJ Act, right? So all these things I'm sharing with all of you. So feel free to download, and it will be good resource for each one of you when you want to study more in detail about specific sections, specific provision, or when you go into the practice, these tax law bare acts will be very helpful for each one of you, right? So any doubts so far? Anything you need more clarification?
Sir, this for the IRC, when we are covering the IRC, there will be reference to these other acts also, or this is only for knowledge sake that we need to understand?
I think for examination purpose, you are not required to get into like bare act, to be very honest. Like for examination purpose, everything will be get covered in the notes or the books which you have, right? And the classes will be covering. But this is, like additional resources I'm sharing with you. So if you want to learn more in detail, if you want to do your own practice, so you have ready material with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Right, so I think exam pattern we have discussed in the last class also. Quickly, you may expect 72 multiple choice question and 8 simulation which will be coming in your examination, right? So 50% of your exam would be multiple choice question, that is coming in two testlet of 36 MCQ and 36 MCQ. Yeah, sorry, Chrisil, what is your question for the exam? Will it be asked briefly? Yeah, Shazi, do you mind unmute and explain your question?
I was asking that will it be asked briefly, like you send the PDF, right? So I was asking like will it be asked briefly in the examination or not?
No. That is for your ready reference, or in future if you need for your job or for your practice purpose. So it's just reference material.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. Okay, so in the examination, like 50% will be multiple choice question and 50% will be simulation. So you can expect 36 multiple choice question in two testlet, right? After that, there would be third testlet in which there are two task-based simulation. So how the exam will be coming, like how you perform in the first testlet. Based on that, second testlet has been formulated. So examination are completely adaptive exam. If your first testlet, which you have submitted with these 36 questions, if that has went really well, right? If you have scored really well in the first testlet, then second testlet you can expect would be coming difficult. If second testlet is coming difficult, that means you can expect your first testlet has went really well, to be very honest, right? If your first testlet has not gone well, then they will give like second testlet not very difficult, so that you have opportunity to score, right? So they like in US market or India market, both the market, is a huge requirement of the CPA that AI CPA also do understand, right? So that's how they have formulated the examination pattern as well. Now, in the third testlet, there would be two task-based simulation, and that will be, like not very difficult, to be very honest with you. That will be small task-based simulation, right? When you are preparing for the examination, right, the oral examination will be of 4 hours. In the 4-hour exam, what is very important for each one of us is the time management, right? Most of the time, which I hear back from the student, like they knew it, what is coming in it, but they were not able to complete it within the time, right? So from the day zero, when you start practicing, right, I would request do the time management from day zero so that you have habit of managing the time, and that will help you during the examination also. If you see, the overall examination would be a 4-hour exam. That means 240 minutes you will be getting, right? So in the 240 minute, I would say the first half you need to finish very comfortably in I would say 2 hour 10 minute would be your standard time for finishing the first half. Finishing the first half mean the testlet 1, 2 and 3, right? So after testlet 3 there is an allowed break of 15 minutes. So how you need to manage the first testlet should be finished in 45 minutes to 50 minutes. If you want, you can note it down, because today is first class, probably you may not be like able to appreciate it, but I'm telling you, this is the way how you need to deal in the examination. So if you can note it down somewhere, that will help you when you start doing your preparation for the examination. The first testlet you need to keep in mind, you need to finish in 45 to 50 minutes. If your first testlet went well, then second testlet will be coming difficult, right? So that will take your 55 to 60 minutes for sure, right? That means around 1 hour 40 minutes to 1 hour 50 minutes you must be finishing first two tests, right? If you are not finishing two testlet in maximum 1 hour 50 minutes, you will not be able to complete your examination, right? So you need to do the time management accordingly. Then third testlet is very easy. So in that there will be two task-based simulation, and that will be very small task-based simulation that you can very comfortably finish in 10 to 15 minutes each, right? So your target should be by 2 hour 10 minute maximum. Your three testlet should be finished and you'll be ready for 15-minute allowed break, right? And that 15-minute allowed break, I would recommend each one of you should take, because the 4-hour continuous attention is very difficult.
The third testlet will be 15 minutes each
Sorry, sir,
or
your voice is not clear, Srinivas sir.
this on the third TVS, the time required will be 15 minutes each or it will be total 15 minutes.
No, you'll get only 15-minute break after the third testlet, which is allowed break, right?
No,
Allowed
the
break
third
means
testlet, the third, no, sir, third testlet, how much time we should take? It will be
30
total
minutes.
15 minutes or 30 minutes?
10 to
30
15
minutes.
minutes, what one test, one simulation. So 20 to 25 minutes for two simulation.
Okay.
Right? So by 2 hour 10 minutes, that means around 130 minutes, you should be finishing your three testlet. That should be your target time, right? And then I would recommend each one of you to take the break, because it is being required. As a human being, it is very difficult to have focus and concentration for continuously 4 hours, right? So it is better go outside, take some refreshment, go to the washroom, drink some water, take some energy drink if you want, or munch some nuts, right? That will give you immediate energy and power to come back with the full focus, right? And another important thing in the examination, only notice to schedule exam and your passport. These are the two things which you need to carry. They will not allow you to take anything inside, not even a water bottle, right? They will give you pencil, they will give you paper, they will give you calculator, and calculator and you can say note is being available on your desktop as well, which is in the Prometric Center, right? So make yourself comfortable with the normal calculator, no scientific calculator, right? So scientific So try using normal calculator from the day 0 for the calculation, so that your hand is set on the calculator, or in the normally like Excel sheet, or you can see the desktop version of calculator, you can start doing the practice so that you are comfortable in terms of calculation. Most of the time, like which I have experience, or like student came up with the experience, they use their scientific calculator, or they use some other calculator which is being not coming, not will not allow in the examination center, right? So it is always good to do the practice which is coming exactly the same way in your examination center, so that your hand is set on the respective category of calculator, or I would say e-calculator, right? That is very important. And another thing is, like you will be given a 15-minute allowed break after the third test day, right? That 15-minute include you are going out of the prometric center and coming back to the to your respective desktop, right? So keep some margin for the security check. When you go out, they will allow you to go out, but when you come back, they will take the complete security check. Complete security check, which include your eyeglasses checking, which include all your collar checking, muffler checking, folder checking, or entire body. You can say shirts check, pant, trousers checks, as well as your pockets checks. They will do. So allow 3 minutes minimum for the security check, and that will be in the cameras which they have, and the individual will be standing over there, will be asking you to do to show all the things, right? So logistically, I would say you have 10 clear minutes of the break. So you need to manage your restroom, your water, your munching in that 10 minutes. But I would recommend each one of you to take that break. And it is being required for a human being to come back as a refresh, right? Then after the break, when you have those two testlet remaining, in the fourth testlet, there would be one research-based simulation. Right? Research-based simulation is basically where they will give you the case study, right? In that case study, you need to understand which section of the law is being applicable to this case study. And you need to mention the section as well as subsection, and the if the references is being required, right? But it will be an open book examination, right? In your learning management software also, you have like a number of research based simulation where it is an open book examination. There is an authoritative literature available, right? So when you are going through the case study, you need to understand basis on your like the understanding which you are building through the classes, going through the notes, as well as when you start doing the practice, you need to build understanding that this case study might be coming up from the which topic, right? And there would be option to type available, and advanced option of research is also available, right? And that is being there in your learning management software as well. So you can do the practice. These are like extremely free of cost number available. What you need to do is just to make sure you understand the concept from which topic it will be coming. So if you write down few keywords, right, then system will give you 5 or 6 option, and you need to select which option is being appropriately matching with the case study, and you can type that, right? So it will be an open book exam, or it will be an open book question for each one of you. That is free number. To be very honest, if you ask me, that is completely free number. It is available in your book, right? And that case study will be very small, 5 to 6 line, or at the max 7 to 8 line, right? Which you can easily understand in 2 to 3 minutes. But here I would request to read minimum 2 times, right? So that you understand from which topic they are asking the question, right? Once you understand from which topic they are asking the question, then it will be just 2 minute job for you. Normally, a research-based simulation takes 5 to 8 minutes, but you keep a buffer of 10 minutes, right? In the fourth testlet, there would be one task-based simulation. Oh, so one research-based simulation, which you can comfortably finish in 10 minutes, right? Remaining two task-based simulation will be slightly bigger than which simulation you have experienced in testlet 3. So normally those two simulation will take 15 minutes. So approximate you required 40 minutes to 45 minutes for the fourth testlet, right? But in the fifth testlet, there would be one long task-based simulation, and that would require almost 30 to 40 minutes, right? It can be the first simulation, second simulation, or third simulation. You can click on the button and see which simulation is longer one, right? There would be definitely one long simulation which is coming in your fifth testlet, right? For that, you need to keep a buffer of minimum 30 minutes, I would say, right? So you have remaining 30 minutes in your hand. I would say first finish the two task-based simulation, which is smaller, so that you have only one large task-based simulation left. And for that, you have 30 to 40 minutes in your hand, right? And one more thing I would recommend here, like generally, people get more into detailing for each and every question, specifically when it comes to the simulation part, right? I would say in the last task-based simulation, if you have answer based on your understanding, let's assume there are 10 answer required in the task-based simulation. If you feel you have answered 4, 5, 6 best of your understanding and you have few minutes left, I would say based on best of your understanding, by looking at the question, you fill the answer, don't leave it blank, right? Before submitting, whatever it will be, like there would be proportionate marking, right? It is not like that. If there is 10 question, if you have not answered one or two, then it will be entirely wrong. No, it will be each question wise marking, right? So you can submit to the best of your understanding and make sure you are properly submitting your examination, right? This is very, very important, and most of the time, like student get stressed out in the last simulation, right? Sorry, don't stress in the entire examination. It's a journey and you need to strategically deal with it, right? What will be the strategy required? I recommend each one of you to connect with me at least a month before when your examination date is being fixed, so that I can help you in making the entire plan for the last 30 days, how to crack the exam in one go. Believe me, whosoever a student so far has given the CPA exam with us, they all have passed in first attempt. And the very, or I would say the most important reason is that each one of them has connected with me almost 30 to 40 days in advance. And the plan which I have given to him or her, they have followed that. And you won't believe it, in the last month, Dipti, I'm not sure she is here or not, she has passed her audit examination, and you won't believe it, she came to me just 22 or 23 days before the examination, right? Despite of the fact the plan which I have shared with her, she has rigorously followed that, and she has passed in first attempt with 84 marks in the audit examination, right? So I request each one of you to thoroughly like go through the notes which I'll be sharing with you, come to the classes, and at least before 30 days of your examination, set up time with me to make a detailed strategy for your specific requirement, right? In the examination, you will be expecting to be evaluated in a three-way. First one is remembering and understanding, like how much concept you have remember and how much understanding you have. That will be very straightforward question, almost 25% to 35%. I would say every 30% examination would be very simple, plain vanilla, straightforward question. Second way is the application, the concept which you have understood, right? How you can apply them into the practical world. So that will be around 35 to 45%, almost 40% of your examination would be coming based on application of concept. And the last thing is analysis. Analysis is like case study, like question answer, where some mathematical calculation and analysis is required. So that you can expect around 25 to 35%, where you need to do some mathematical calculation or you need to analyze certain case study, you need to analyze certain scenario and give the response to that, right? This is what like the examination pattern or expectation for the regulation exam. Any doubt, anything you need more clarification here? So far so good.
Sir, uh, is this exam is for 100 marks or like more than 100 marks? I'm just
Yeah,
curious because I
it
saw
is.
a result of one person on LinkedIn. She mentioned she scored 99, 99, 99. So,
Yeah. It is 100 score, but not marks, right? And each question has different weightage, right? You cannot say each question has same weightage. Based on the complexity and difficulty of the respective question has been given respective weightage, to be very honest, right? And to pass the each exam, you need to score 75 out of 100. That is being required, right?
Sir, this first three
okay,
testlet, you said we need to take about 45, 45, and 30 minutes. So that is about 130 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So the balance two testlets would take roughly another 2 hours. You mean to
Yeah,
say?
1 hour 45 minutes. Third testlet
1
will
hour.
take 45 minutes, and fourth testlet will take 45 minutes, and fifth testlet will take 1 hour.
Okay.
Because there would be one long task-based simulation. For that, you require minimum 30 minutes.